Back to normal time for baseball tonight. It's a 7:05 first pitch. They're coming down the street from the Navy Yard Station. Bryce Harper, Chia Pet at the ballpark tonight. Everybody wants to be Bryce. Everybody wants to take his Chia Bryce home. All right, time for baseball. Bob and FP. First of all, he should be on the All-Star team. We know he will. There might be some other Nats. So hopefully a whole bunch of names to celebrate here in the next hour or so.
Well, you're hoping Steven Strasburg's on the ball club, Daniel Murphy and Wilson Ramos. Maybe Danny Espinosa, but I think he came on a little too strong, a little too late. But we'll keep our fingers crossed, and we'll know soon.
All right, let's talk about that too little, too late. Maybe for the All-Star team, but not for the Nats. It's a whole lot just on time. And Danny Espinosa's right-handed numbers are skyrocketing. He's doing it from both sides of the plate. He's the player of the week.
Well, the game's just moving real slow for Danny Espinosa. He's in the proverbial zone. When you talk about what he's done this week, 11 for 26, 423 average, 5 home runs. He's the 5th shortstop in Major League history to hit 2 grand slams in the same series. And Victor Martinez is the only other switch hitter this year to go deep from both sides twice. So a lot of good company and a lot of good things to say about Danny Espinosa. He's been fun to watch.
17 RBIs in 1 week, 15 in 1 series. Now let's turn to the pitching. You don't want to put too much urgency on anything that's happening early in July, but are things getting a little crucial now for Gio Gonzalez?
I think so, and I think he had a good start to work off of last time. He gave up 4 runs, but it was late. We saw a different Gio, a more relaxed Gio, so hopefully the same Gio Gonzalez here today. But he just has to avoid the big inning. In 6 of his 8 starts this year, he's given up 3 runs or more in 1 inning. Stay away from the big inning. He'll be great today.
Yeah, Gio got a lot of run support last time out. So now the Nats and the Brewers play for the 5th time this year. Milwaukee's won 3 of the first 4, and the last 3 games have each been decided by 1 run. The one before that by 2 runs. 1 swing, 1 play a game has been the difference. Nats and the Brew Crew, game 2, straight ahead. Nationals baseball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By Airlines for America, where airplanes land, opportunity takes off. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA. Sizzling in the district tonight.
Slap each other. Okay, we're good.
That's an attention getter. Partly cloudy skies, humidity under 60%, just under 90. And I was watching the ball during batting practice, as I'm sure FP was. It is getting in the air, and it is staying in the air on a day and now an evening like this. The Brewers have hit 84 home runs. They're 10th in the league, 12th in runs. Chris Carter, one of the ultimate all-or-nothing guys in baseball this year. 20 home runs, 4th in the league, but he only has 49 RBIs to go with it. He has struck out 103 times. That's second most in the National League. But he's a presence behind Braun and Lucroy in the middle of that lineup, and Gio starts against Milwaukee for the 7th time.
Yeah, snapped a personal 7-game losing streak last start behind 13 runs of support against the Reds. He gave up 4 runs in 6 innings of work on 4 hits, struck out 9, walked 4 through 104 pitches. Here's the defense behind Gio tonight. Worth, Revere, Harper, your outfield. Espinoza, Rendon, left side. Murphy, Zimmerman, right side. Wilson, Ramos. We're hoping an all-star behind the plate, along with Daniel Murphy. Like I said in the open, I think a little too late for Danny, but we'll keep an eye on it. Steven Strasburg, you think, have a good chance, and we all know Bryce Harper. So 4 would be good, right?
Yeah, it'd be great. So there's our hopeful all-star pop-around, as we call it in the biz. Jonathan VR will step in. 0 for 4 yesterday, couple of strikeouts. Gio ready. We're underway at 7:07 with strike 1. VR at 292. He's played in 79 games previous to tonight. He's been on base in 68 of those. So he's got an on-base percentage with just under 380. Crew chief Jeff Nelson, 20-year veteran, has the plate tonight. Greg Gibson, Nick Lentz, Corey Blazer, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Nats on a 6-2 homestand. Still 12 of their last 15 at home, despite yesterday's loss and a pretty good 1-2 pitch inside a bit. Dusty Baker's ball club, 16 over. 4 up on the Mets, who won their 5th in a row yesterday, come from behind. Swinging a foul on the 5th pitch of the game. VR career 3 for 4, couple of RBIs against Gio. So the Nats will be heading for New York after tomorrow afternoon's game. That'll be a big 4-game series into the break. Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, and Gio's 1st strikeout tonight, 98th of the year.
Gio has the highest strikeout to walk percentage of his career right now. And I think when you talk about his struggles lately, he had a good start last time out to build on. But that's all you really need to look at as a pitcher, right? That's telling you one thing. Your stuff is really good. And he starts this one out with a strikeout.
Aaron Hill to right. And Harper misjudges the ball. It goes over Bryce's glove to the scoreboard. Bryce went over to his right, and all of a sudden it kept on going. Aaron Hill at second base, 1 out.
Well, it's right to your point you just made, Carp. It was a good one. The ball's flying tonight, and Bryce Harper, a guy who you never see do this, misreads that one totally. And you could see he knew right away, if he could read lips, that he was in trouble.
So a double given to Aaron Hill. Ryan Braun is next, and everybody seems comfortable with the fact that Ryan Braun is indeed batting 3rd tonight. Craig Counsell took responsibility for what happened yesterday. Didn't cost him the game. They won 1-0 on the Maldonado home run in the 5th inning. Their number 7 hitter. There's Jonathan Lucroy, their cleanup guy, next. And Gio, look at the runner, a step off, and he wants to talk to Wilson Ramos.
Well, if you want a true test of And if you're going to be mentally tough or not, that's a good one to start with, right? You know, Gio's kind of had the body language when he's going through his trials of what else could happen wrong. Well, he's had a play he thought was going to be made behind him. Second hitter of the game. How does he deal with it?
Braun at .323, fourth highest average in the league. So Gio goes with the changeup and misses on the first pitch.
And I think he did a good job, Carp, last start. He had a bases loaded jam that he got out of early and only gave up 1 run. So he's been there, done that in the first recently.
Two and 0. Braun with runners in scoring position, hitting .365, fifth in the league. And trying to get all over a 2-0 pitch, a foul ball. Anthony Rendon looked 3 different places to throw the ball. Nobody stood up, so he threw it to the ball person on the left field line. So he's deep at third. Espinosa deep at short for a power hitter here. And a 2-1 to Ryan Braun. That bat straight up. Ball 3. Well, the Nats came out slugging that night against Cincinnati. It was 13-1 after 4 innings. Gio able to go 6, giving up 4 runs on 6 hits. And that ball right through Wilson Ramos on ball 4. That gives Aaron Hill third base.
And he just whiffed on that one. That's got to be a pass ball.
Corner situation for the Brewers, 1 out.
You read his lips. He said, "Come on, G." He's worked on speeding up his tempo the last 2 or 3 starts. We've noticed it, and maybe it's so, you know, you just don't think too much between pitches, get it and go, trust your stuff kind of thing.
Well, Gio had some things go haywire. First inning, his last start, a double play ball, kept him from further damage. Lucroy's hit into 8 this year, but he's looking to elevate. But that's not deep at all to left field. Here comes Worth. Aaron Hill, the runner, and not going anywhere. 2 outs. Although Worth misses the cutoff man, and Braun goes to second base. Alert base running by Ryan Braun.
See, that's a communication thing. And even though Jason Worth will be the first one to tell you he's got to throw that lower, there's no need to really throw that if the off outfielder or infielder that's standing by you says he's not tagging. No, 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 no. And if you look at Aaron Hill on third base, he's not tagging. He's not on the base. So now if I'm Espinosa, I look at the runner. If I'm Ben Revere, I look at the runner. Jason has to look at the fly ball. There's no way he knows where the runner is and if he's tagging or not. He has to assume he's tagging. But if you communicate on that, there's no way he has to launch that throw high or low. Just flip it in real quick. You know he's not tagging.
Up and in to Chris Carter, so the big power guy in there. Carter 1 for 4 with a home run against Gio. Career 3 RBIs. Only Chris Bryant, Adam Duvall, and Nolan Arenado have hit more home runs than this guy. And Gio's going to rob him on a clean line drive stab to his left. Gio's made some good defensive plays on the mound this year. This one might have saved him a big inning.
Yeah, no bad hops. He charged it nicely. Well done.
Well, sometimes you have to take matters into your own glove, and that's what Gio did. Little knucks from his pitching coach, Mike Maddox. So now the Nats go to work, trying to get Gio some runs like they did last time. Wilson Ramos in the number 5 spot tonight. Last 29 games at .360. 21 RBIs over that time. He's been outstanding with runners in scoring position. And whether 4th, 5th, or at times 6th, huge presence in that lineup. And we're keeping our fingers crossed for him to be an all-star. 23-year-old Zach Davies, second time against the Nats.
Yeah, last start was against the Dodgers on the 30th. He was the 8-1 loser, gave up 6 runs on 8 hits over 4 1/3, 91 pitch effort.
Right up the middle, Jonathan VR to his left. Finishes off a strong play, 1 out.
Yeah, fastball not going to overwhelm you, but what we saw in Milwaukee we liked, even though he gave up 3 runs in 5 innings to the Nats. Kept the ball down nice, moved the ball around, used all of his pitches in any count, and based on that Aaron Hill line drive that went over Bryce Harper's head, he has to keep the ball down here tonight because it's flying.
Yeah, made 104 pitches against the Nats. Struck out 9 that night. That's one of the reasons for the high pitch count. Walked only 1. Jason Worth hitting .250. Jason not in the lineup that night against Davies. Michael A. Taylor was batting second. Ben Revere was playing left field. So they meet for the first time, and it's 0-2. Didn't miss by much.
If I'm remembering right, the last time they faced him, it was a second time around deal where they figured him out.
You're right.
But the reason I'm saying that, Carp, is this could be a first time around deal. You've seen him before. You know what he has. You have a better idea what you want to do as a hitter. So you don't need that first time through as a recon mission.
Two. Worth takes it outside. Jason's been piling up some walks lately. 23 of them in his last 24 games, including 13 RBIs. Right up the middle. Busted bat base hit, and Jason Worth aboard for Bryce Harper.
Nice piece of hitting with 2 strikes. There goes the no-hitter, Jason Worth. Style here against the Brewers. Yeah, it was the second time around. Ben Revere lined out to center. It was in the 3rd inning. Michael Taylor singled. Bryce Harper walked. Daniel Murphy doubled, and then Wilson Ramos singled for 3 runs the second time around. And like I said, you're thinking first time this time.
Bryce, an intentional walk, 0 for 3 in the game yesterday. That's only managing 2 hits in that 1-0 loss. He's 1 for 2 with the walk against Zach Davies. Goes up hacking, off to the left it goes.
And it's Brewers defense behind Zach Davies, Braun Flores, Perez, the outfield, VR, Middlebrooks left side, Hill, Carter right side, and Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate.
And you would figure Ryan Braun will be their all-star representative, having a monster year. A young closer, Jeremy Jeffress, has 22 saves. Been in the top 4 in the league all year. Harper off speed pitch, right side to Carter. VR is going to return it, and the Brewers turn a 3-6-3 double play. That's it for the Nats in the bottom of the 1st. No score early game 2.
Maddux today, what he liked most about Gio Gonzalez, Gio's last time out. And Maddux said that he felt like Gio won that game in the 1st inning, referring to the fact that the Reds loaded the bases against Gio with 1 out, and the left-hander bared down and only allowed 1 run. The Nats have been trying to reinforce to Gio recently that he doesn't need to be a power pitcher blowing fastballs by hitters and shooting for strikeouts. Dusty calls it thinking like a lefty, meaning relying more on finesse than power, while Maddux says it's just about Gio making pitches, putting your pitch where it belongs. He wants Gio to have that mindset with every pitch. Where does this pitch belong? It's more of an emphasis on location than overpowering hitters. So we'll watch for that from Gio today to see if he can spot up his pitches where he wants to.
Thank you, Dan. Top of the 2nd. First pitch, a strike to Hernan Perez. Stan with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Yeah, got that big double play ball on the Jay Bruce at bat. Gio over to cover first in plenty of time. Zimmerman to him for the first out. And now 3 in a row. Hey, we have the NL National League All-Star starters. Maybe a surprise behind home plate. Buster Posey overtakes Yadier Molina in the voting. The infield, all Cubs, as well as center fielder Dexter Fowler. Cespedes and Harper on the corners out there.
Fourth All-Star game, 3rd start for Bryce. No home run derby. He said as much today.
Will Middlebrooks is back in the big leagues. That's on with San Diego last year. This year he's hitting .282 at Colorado Springs. And the Brewers called him up yesterday. Previous big league time for parts of 3 years with the Red Sox. Off-speed pitch. And Gio, a beauty. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Gio did a nice job getting out of that jam in the first after some less than stellar defense, which we've been spoiled with all season long here watching this ball club. No runs.
Low and inside. Middlebrooks. 212 at San Diego in 83 games last year. Slaps one to left for a base hit. Let's look at the American League starters now. There's a DH at the bottom, David Ortiz. So the world champion Royals, a catcher and a first baseman. Red Sox doing well with Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Xander Bogaerts. Manny Machado of the Orioles.
See, I think they got the AL right. Not that the guys in the NL don't deserve to be all-stars, but the Cubs stuffed the ballot box. And, I mean, those are the best position players. I mean, that's a good team. The only neutralizing factor in that is that the NL pitchers are better, I think.
A lot of youth on the American League team. Some new faces. Here's Ramon Flores, the center fielder, hitting .235. Zach Davies, the pitcher, on deck. And Gio with a good fastball. Counts even, 1-1. I think have some cutting action to him. Looked like it was heading toward the outer half.
Well, if it did, and I think you're right, you know, not by design. Gio usually just throws a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer.
Mercedes-Benz tracking it.
Sometimes you can yank one over there and it'll get some cut action to it.
Now the 1-2, and that's well outside. Well, is it tailor-made? Sure is. Espinosa to Murphy to Zimmerman. The Nats turned their 80th double play of the year. Top 3 in the National League. And this is 2 starts in a row now where Gio gets an early double play to help his cause.
for you in bad news. The good news is Daniel Murphy's an all-star. And you're not going to believe the bad news. He missed starting in the game by 88 votes.
Whoa.
Ben Zobrist had 3,013,407. Daniel Murphy had 3,013,319. 88 votes.
And Wilson Ramos made it, right?
I'm blaming myself for that one. I only voted for him once.
Well, Murphy, an all-star 2 years ago, and he's going back.
That has to be the closest ever. I mean, he's on the team, so
it's unbelievable.
Good. He should be starting, in my opinion, but 88 votes? What?
Our Masson All-Star Game Voting Research Department is on it to see if there's ever been a closer one. Wilson Ramos makes the All-Star team. That is fantastic. And Murphy on a changeup, up and away, thing drifting away, couldn't reach it. So Daniel leads the league in hits. He's 5th in doubles, 8th in extra base hits. Obviously the #1 batting average, 347. 7 points ahead of all-star Wilson Ramos. On a pitch way in on his hands, Murph turns on it. Steven Strasburg is in.
All right. So the guys you thought.
Murphy, short left center, and that is hit number 109. Doesn't have to be a line drive every time. The man puts the ball in play. He has struck out only 35 times all year. So right now the Nats have 4 all-stars. Bryce back for the 4th time, as we told you, Murphy 2 years ago. Strasburg 2nd time, and Wilson Ramos 1st time in. Good for him.
You know, that 88 votes makes me think that I need to vote more and that it actually counts. My whole theory on that is, well, everybody else's stuff in the ballot box, I'll just do my due diligence and vote once. Not thinking that, you know, if we all stuff the ballot box, Murph would be starting. That's weird.
Ramos out of play, right side. Pretty cool when your 3, 4, and 5 hitters are all going to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Wilson Ramos, 21 RBIs, last 29 games. Just under 360. 0-1 pitch. And that's a curveball that just kind of hung up and in.
So I got a theory. You know, the Nats end the first half in New York. Maybe Cespedes, who's an all-star, could lend all these guys cars, and then they could race to San Diego. Or charter a plane and they all ride together.
Yeah.
Because he's making the most glue out of all of them, I believe. You know, Murph's friends with him.
If they don't mind dressing up in neon green, maybe
just go kumbaya, get on this charter together, get a little.
It's been known to happen.
Private jet to San Diego.
Wilson Ramos to the right side with a hard hit ball. Look out in the first row up there.
I think Tyler Clippard hits to ride with Troy Tulowitzki.
You know what? You're right.
So why not?
Ramos at 340, on base percentage, a robust 396. That is just foul. Let's go inside. The numbers brought to you by Jeep. So catchers this year, Wilson, it's no contest. The youngster from Miami, JT Realmuto, a great season. Jonathan Lucroy goes, hitting 316. Cameron Rupp, Wellington Castillo. All kind of synergy going on right now. Two guys just a couple of feet from each other, both going. That's an all-star take right there. 3-2, nobody out. Would Dusty start a runner? Maybe try to stay out of a double play here. Wilson Ramos has one fewer strikeout this year. This is interesting. Then Daniel Murphy does. There's Nissan with the entire at bat, so he's been a contact guy. Murph is running. Ramos to short, and that will keep them out of the double play. Productive out as it happens. Next up, Ryan Zimmerman.
You know what I like about when players from your own ball club aren't starting the All-Star game and you're a first-place team is you'll be able to influence the outcome of the game more than if you started. Because Daniel Murphy's going to go in late. Wilson Ramos is going to go in late. If you're playing for home field advantage in the World Series, now you have a direct say in it. That guy might be the starter. Who knows? He could be your National League starter depending on what Terry Collins decides to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The era of All-Stars playing entire ball games is long gone. And starters maybe going the first 3 innings. That's long gone. That's a chopper. Fair ball for Zimmerman. Murphy has to stay at second. 2 outs.
Join us for our first Budweiser Bud and Burger music party Saturday, July 9th at Nats Park. 80s, 90s, 2000s cover bands playing live music from noon to 5. Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door. Your music party includes 1 Budweiser and 1 burger. Doesn't matter if you're still starving or not. Visit nationals.com/budmusic for tickets and details.
Anthony Rendon. Ninth in the league in walks with 42. 8th in the league in runs with 52, and trying to bust one in here. He's driven in 31.
So if I'm right, the 3rd guy in the league in hitting, Real Muto, and the 4th guy, Braun, did not make the All-Star team?
Well,
I'm just kind of doing this on the fly,
yeah.
Looking at Twitter, so I could be wrong.
You know, and we always know that between now and Sunday, there will be some withdrawals, there will be some injury situations. Maybe guys like that are the first ones to be added. But it also sometimes depends on the positions, what they need, who had to drop out. Then we heard that feisty leadoff guy from the Phillies, Odubel Herrera, made the All-Star team.
I like him.
Tough out.
He had an epic bat flip yesterday on a home run.
Not him.
Shocking news.
I've seen him flip the bat on walks. 2-1.
He had a double here that got a lot of the Nats' attention on a bat flip.
Anthony Rendon trying to keep this inning alive for you-know-who. It's a good fastball by Zach Davies to the outside edge.
Boy, it starts way off, and watch the run back to it. Good frame, too.
Zach Davies, 23 years of age. That one stays outside. Full count. Yeah, you know who's on deck. The National League Player of the Week, who hit .423 with 17 RBIs.
In 1 week. Wrap your head around that number, 17 RBIs in 1 week.
15 against the Reds.
5 homers in 1 week. That's pretty good.
They also had a couple of doubles, walked 4 times, scored 8 runs. And the icing on the cake, he got hit by 1 pitch last week. I mean, Danny gets hit by pitches all the time, so had to be 1, right?
Had to be.
What a great story.
So 26 weeks in the season times 5 homers, that would be 130 homers on the season if he kept up that pace all year. Is that a lot?
That's a lot. And that's a base hit. Here comes Murphy around third. Ryan Braun with 9 assists up with it. And safe at the plate is Daniel Murphy. Braun did a great job of making up some room and some time there with the throw. The Nats lead 1-0. Rendon drives in his 32nd.
Great at bat by Anthony Rendon. Good base running by Daniel Murphy. I was watching the whole sequence. He was getting a good primary lead, a good secondary lead. And when you have an arm like Ryan Braun's, you have to work hard on the bases. Look where Murphy is already. He was almost to third. 2 strikes. He's going on movement of the hands. So the good jump by Daniel Murphy allows him to beat the throw. Good at bat by Anthony Rendon. And I wonder if Rendon thought about staying at first just so Danny Espinosa could hit, but that's thinking real quick on the fly in the heat of battle.
Yeah.
He ain't going to hit now, is he? No way.
Well, let's watch together and see what they throw him. They throw him a fastball for a strike. They're crazy. That one was cutting in on him. He has a discussion with Jeff Nelson.
You got to finish that with "they're crazy" because that's what it was. A little cut to it, but
2 out, clutch hit by Anthony Rendon. Now hitting nearly .330 his last 11 games. That cutter down and in. Espinosa trying to dig it out.
do you think he's thinking, why are they pitching to me right now? You think that as a hitter when I'm locked in, like, seriously? You're going to, okay, let's do this.
So he sees the 0-2 changeup.
Coming back in. We'll try that front hip sinker, lock him up. Or just a show me pitch away. Probably start it right at him and run it back.
Danny is 1 RBI short of 50. Yeah, they go off speed and get him. So Danny Espinosa can't continue the inning, but Rendon did. Murphy leadoff hit, moves on a ground ball, scores on a Rendon hit, and that's a thing of beauty right there. 1-0 Nats.
Biggest summer events back-to-back. Home Run Derby on ESPN July 11th, 8 p.m. All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 12th on Fox. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. And I'm just really happy for Wilson. I mean, the other guys deserve it. Daniel Murphy coming over, the offseason acquisition, doing everything you're supposed to do. Bryce has been Bryce. Steven Strasburg off to the great start. But all that Wilson Ramos has been through in his major league career, not just, this year with his grandfather, Jesus Campos, dying in late April, coming back from that whole thing and just turning it on, the LASIK surgery, the whole kidnapping thing a few years back, and to become an all-star catcher, and for us to get to watch him evolve from just the catcher they got from the Twins, hitting 8th like Danny Espinosa, to now hitting 4th and becoming a major league all-star. I just think it's a great story. And good for him. We're proud of him.
The Nats got a left-handed pitcher, Joe Testa, with Wilson for Matt Capps. At the trading deadline back in July 31st of 2010, Minnesota looking for a closer. The Nats were looking for a young catcher.
And on top of that, he's the Buffalo. He's arguably one of the most popular players with the fans on the team. Nobody else has an animal nickname that has hats and horns. And I mean, he's just run with that whole thing, so to speak. And just the whole story is awesome.
Yeah, he was 22 years of age when Mike Rizzo turned that deal.
And there was a lot of people that thought, hey, the Nats need a catcher in the offseason. He had a tough year last year. And look what patience as an organization does with a player like Wilson Ramos. I live here now. There was a lot of clamoring. The Nats need a catcher. Ramos isn't the guy. They need to go out and get Jonathan Lucroy, whoever. Now you got an all-star back there because Mike Rizzo and company were patient with Wilson Ramos.
Yeah, patient at 2 key positions, catcher and shortstop. On cue, Danny Espinosa. 1 out. Again, Zach Davies in the 3rd, top of the order next for Milwaukee with Jonathan Villar and Aaron Hill. Let's go inside the numbers with Jeep. So the Nats now have added a run to get back to that plus 100 on the run differential. Cubs scored a bunch of runs today but gave up more. Cincinnati beat them. St. Louis not a first place club, but the Indians and the Giants are. Villar struck out swinging first time up. Gio took him upstairs with a fastball. So the first time through the order, the Brewers go 2 for 8 with a base on balls. Aaron Hill a double, Middlebrooks a single. 2-0. Work rate brisk early in the game for Gio. Ball 3. Villar, good young shortstop, lots of speed, strikes out a lot. And this time a fly ball to right. Bryce Harper chasing it onto the track, and 1 step in front of the scoreboard, drops it. Villar's at second base with 1 out. Ball carrying tonight, even on some what appear to be fairly routine flies. It's just going and going.
It is, and I think Bryce Harper, in his history with fences, is why he eased up at the end of this. Kind of feeling for where he was, knew the fence was approaching, felt the dirt under his cleats and the warning track, and just out of his reach. But like you said, that ball just kept going and going and going.
No ruling yet. Runner at second, 1 out. Aaron Hill, the hitter.
Well, if you go by it didn't touch his glove rule, that's a double.
So a double for Jonathan Villar.
They should let the home broadcast team in every ballpark be the scorekeepers. And if it's a tie, throw it down to the sideline reporter for the 3rd vote. So if I said, no, that's an error, and you said that's a hit, we throw it down to Dan for the deciding vote. That way, I mean, we watch every game. We keep score every game. They should let us do it.
I tell you, you and Mr. Coco are welcome to take on that responsibility anytime you want to.
I would love it. Are you kidding me? But then it would give me something. Oh, that was a balk. They didn't call it. Did you see that? His hands moved before he spun him through.
And Murphy maybe saw the same thing. He's going to visit with Gio.
He was sitting there in a set position before he spun him through. His hands kind of started to rise up like he was going home, and then he spun. And the fact that he got away with it is good.
Yeah. Second base umpire Nick Lentz only about 50 feet away from Gio. Greg Gibson looking over from first. And the curveball to the hitter Aaron Hill. Inside. Aaron Hill hit one over Bryce Harper with 1 out first inning. Made it to third on a pass ball, never did score. Villar running. Ramos couldn't get a handle, pitch in the dirt. And Jonathan Villar steals his major league leading 27th base.
As soon as Gio turns his head, he goes. And I don't know if Wilson Ramos had a chance. That was a pretty good jump by Villar. Let's see.
Rendon in. Zimmerman creeping in a little. Doesn't matter. The game's tied. And Aaron Hill is 2 for 2. His 25th RBI.
Whatever happens in this series against the Brewers, win or loss wise, you want to be playing good baseball heading to New York for a big 4-game series into an all-star break where we have 4 days off. And a nice piece hitting by Aaron Hill, getting on top of that fastball from Gio Gonzalez, picking up the RBI. So yeah, you want to win these games, the games you're supposed to win, but you want to be playing good baseball as you go north to play the Mets. Or it could make for a really stressful all-star break, and that's something Dusty Baker doesn't want.
Ball 1 to Braun. Gio walked him first time. Two and 0. Only 3 Brewers have ever been MVPs. Raleigh Fingers, Robin Yount, and Ryan Braun. National League MVP 5 years ago. Brewers in the American League for the others. Two-one missing inside.
This game will test you, won't it? It's really testing Gio right now.
And this one near the right field line. Bryce Harper getting over there. He's got enough action on it to twist back in, and he grabs the fair ball. 2 outs.
Seen that a lot this homestand, huh? Balls that look like they're heading for the right field corner bleachers, the seats, and they're twisting back into fair territory.
Yeah. Flags aren't doing a thing right now. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. Fly ball shallow left first time. Unable to drive in Aaron Hill, who was on third.
Craig Counsell saying in the paper today that he had a bunch of lineups set up yesterday, and that was all his fault. He had some different lineups, and if, you know, reading between the lines, player mode, he's covering for his coaches. Even if he did have other lineups. And that's what a good manager does.
It'll never happen again for him. Two and 0. Well, third inning. Pitch count mounting for Gio. There have been a couple of things happen in the outfield that have happened to raise that count maybe higher than it should be. But he's given up some hard hit balls too, and there's one. Lucroy right through the middle. Hill stops at second, and the Brewers have 3 hits in the inning, 1 run, and power guy Chris Carter coming up, and Mike Maddux to the mound.
So I'm seeing that Ian Desmond is an all-star outfielder. How cool is that?
Good for him. Yeah, I think Dusty was asked about that this afternoon, about Desmond. It wasn't known at the time, but could happen. And he cited several guys who've made moves around the diamond. He said, hey, athletes are athletes. And some guys just have that knack of getting it done wherever they are.
Telling you, man, you go to center field, as a former infielder that did it, it's relaxing. You think about your at-bats. It's all you have to do is hit the cutoff man, run over some fly balls. There's not a million things going on, and if your defense is suspect, you take that whole aspect out of your game. All that stress and energy you're wasting on defense is now put into your offensive game, and it's no shock to me at all that Ian's doing what he's doing.
Chris Carter line drive back to the mound first time. Gio stabbed it, and that was on his left-hand side, not the glove side. This guy can generate some power. When he connects as much as anybody in the game. 0-1 pitch. Carter 6'4", 245 from Redwood City, California. Went to high school in Nevada, Vegas area. Hit a .199 for Houston last year with 24 home runs. They pretty much let him go, and the Brewers picked him up as a free agent January the 6th. 0-2 with 2 outs. Curveball. Jeff Nelson took a long look at it, so will Mercedes-Benz.
I think it's all about the presentation by Ramos. His glove kind of went down with the pitch. If he sticks the landing, maybe, and there's no way of knowing, maybe he gets a call.
Then he comes from the side door to get the curveball for a strikeout. Big K for Gio Gonzalez. Second of the night, 99th of the year. Tie ball game after 2.5. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Jose Reyes back with the Mets. We'll see him on Thursday. Third baseman now. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Jordan Zimmermann with that neck problem flaring on him. Back on the DL with the Tigers. And Wade Davis, they've had a hard time keeping their closer healthy this year. Look at those numbers. They need him. So, from New York to Detroit to Kansas City. Greater coverage of baseball. Bottom three, Gio leads off. Gorgeous night in town and to the west. Hope you folks enjoyed seeing 2/3 of the fireworks last night.
I saw some clouds glowing red.
Yeah.
That was cool. Hey, at least they shot them off.
Yeah.
There was a time last night when we were wondering. I was on Twitter. It was they're canceled. They're not going to happen. And then all of a sudden, we got word that at 9:09 they'd shoot them off, and they did. So whatever ones we saw was good enough for me.
All right, so now we're on the 5th of July, BCFP DK, here at Nationals Park. Nationals first time through the order, 3 for 9. Ben Revere, close to a base hit on a bouncer up the middle his first time.
Although when I got home and watched it on TV, it was weird. The Capitol didn't have a scaffolding on it, and it was a clear day. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm going to let the news media take care of that one. Low and in to Ben Revere. So that one cutting inside, 2-0 to Ben. Came in hitting .293 his last 22 games. So now the Nats depend on him to take a stranglehold on that center field job. There's a rip into right. Second hit in 4 at-bats against Zach Davies. And the Nationals have a 1-out hit here in the 3rd, their 4th of the night.
A good at bat by Ben. Got on top of that one and hit it past the second baseman. You see the location of the pitch. Ben's such a good low ball hitter. You get it down there, he's got a chance, and now we'll see what he decides to do on first base. This is when it gets good usually.
Hey, you find out a whole bunch of things about the opposing pitcher when Ben Revere gets on base. How does he hold? What kind of move does he have? Is he quick to the plate? Jonathan Lucroy, and this is interesting, I find, with Lucroy behind the plate, and a lot of this is on the pitchers, obviously, but opposing teams have run 62 times this year. Jonathan's thrown out 22 of those for a very respectable 36%. But when put together with their other catchers, teams run on the Brewers a lot. On the edge. Nissan will track strike one.
Little cut fastball, good frame by Lucroy, gets the call.
So counting Martin Maldonado's time behind the plate, opposing teams have tried to steal 73 times against Milwaukee. Wilson Ramos in contrast, 8 for 24. Jose Lobaton 4 for 11. So the Nats staff has done a good job of stopping opposing base runners.
Coaching staff too, don't forget them.
Absolutely.
Calling the throwovers, the holds, the pitch outs, which we haven't seen too many of. So Chris Spire takes care of that department, so give him a lot of credit.
It's a great baseball man right there. I could see him in a big league managerial post sometime. Oh, 1 to Worth. They've been working him away. Revere running, pitch taken. It's a bullet. Ben Revere is out as Aaron Hill must have tagged him on Revere's way by. Maybe the leg, the foot. This will be looked at. Ben acting like he was out.
Yeah, he didn't say anything, so I'm going by Ben Revere. Hard to tell from way up here, and it was hard to tell in that replay. This one will definitely show it. Yeah, got him right on the cheek.
Well, that's a great play by Aaron Hill.
Yeah, it is sliding into a tag and extending with his glove all in one motion. Yeah, give Aaron Hill tons of credit on that one.
Bases empty for Worth now, and the count 1-1. So Lucroy up around 38% now. Meanwhile, ball 2.
Yeah, 4 stolen bases against Davies this year and 6 caught stealing.
Yoenis Cespedes has celebrated his All-Star selection by hitting his 21st homer of the year, a solo bottom of the 4th, and the Mets on top of Miami. Three and 2.
I think that one came back. I know Jason Worth is not loving the call based on the first strike call we showed you. Pretty good pitch.
That's low. Jason Worth on for the second time. First walk issued by Davies tonight.
All right, there's been 303 walks, 15,000, $1.50 for every Nats walk. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Bryce Harper, 3-6-3 double play ball first time. So here comes the procession of All-Stars. Harper, Murphy, Ramos. 1-1 ball game. 1-5-0 Milwaukee. 1-4-0 Washington. Brewers have already stranded 4. The Nationals 1. That ball gashed to center. Worth's going to make the turn as it checks up a little bit out there. He goes to third, draws a throw. Harper to second. And Ramon Flores just gave the Nats an extra 90 feet. Second and third, 2 outs.
You probably with 2 outs, that throw's got to go into second base, but you can never fault an outfielder for being aggressive trying to end an inning. If he keeps the throw down, and that's what Flores did, he kept the throw down. So the credit goes to Bryce Harper here for seeing Flores set up to third, and as soon as he does, he went. That wasn't reading a rainbow throw to third. That was just reading the center fielder setting his body up to throw to third, and before he even threw it, Bryce went to second. So great read on the back end by Bryce Harper.
So righty-lefty with Murphy, first base open. Right-hander Ramos on deck. We'll see how they pitch Daniel here. He got a breaking ball and hit it in the air to left. Ryan Braun under it. So the Nats had 2 hits around the walk, a runner caught stealing. Now they've stranded 3 in a 1-1 game. The fourth inning of Nationals baseball brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Tonight,
that is the current view of the Washington Monument.
Gorgeous night. 89 at game time. Starting to finally cool off a little. Middle innings upon us. Perez, Middlebrooks, Flores for Milwaukee, top of the fourth. Gio retired 2 of these 3 first time around. Perez on a ground ball to first. '56th pitch of the night, strike number 30. Two. The record 5.04 the ERA against Milwaukee in 6 starts, and he just goes right ahead and gets his 100th strikeout of the year. Perez down for the second time. Middlebrooks now. Summer wouldn't be complete without a hot dog or 3 or 4. So bring your appetite for the dogs. It's Dollar Hot Dog Day tomorrow. Watch the Nats and the Brewers. And you can outduel those Milwaukee fans. Tell them they're brats and you are crushing. Visit nationals.com/tickets. Appropriate with Milwaukee in town.
See Joey Chestnut yesterday? Dominated. Sometimes it's hard to watch, though. It really is. Stuff flying everywhere. He's dunking the buns in the cup.
I know.
Shoving hot dogs.
First there's Shark Week, then you got to watch that.
Yeah. We figured the calories out yesterday of all the hot dogs he ate. It was some ridiculous amount. Like 15,000 or something.
0-2, and Gio shows him a high fastball. Will Middlebrooks, base hit, hard hit to left, first time up. At the age of 27, back in the big leagues. To the left side, Espinosa might have moved over a little bit more toward the hole, and it pays off. 2 down.
So they have the pitch speed here at Nats Park. They have the hit speed. I wanted to make another little column for Danny Espinosa's throwing to first speed. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, because that one, he let it eat. That was 90 plus. I don't know. It's just when I was a kid, I used to watch big league shortstops throw and see. I think it was so cool. But watch this one. I mean, that's a bullet. I love seeing people throw it. It's as good as home runs for me. You remember how excited I used to get when Rinke Field made a throw from center field? I mean, that's just the coolest.
Yeah.
You have the best arm on the field.
Flores is 6-4-3 first time up. Gio trying to get him a second time to avoid the Brewers turning that batting order over. And a 1-1. Say one thing about Gio's outing tonight. Things are happening quickly and mostly on the good side of the ledger.
Yeah, get it and go. He's worked through some difficulty behind him. Doing a nice job so far.
Curveball. Just missed. Three-2, and he missed on 3 in a row. That's Gio's second walk tonight. Walk Ryan Braun back in the first. Zach Davies this year 2 for 26. Ground ball to Espinoza first time. Gio has 5 ground ball outs. Chopper third base way. Rendon's got to wait. Tough play. Great adjustment at the very end. Guy's playing some third base this year.
He is picking it over there. 3 errors on the year, and look at where he's playing. He's playing in. That allows him to make the play. He knows the speed of the runner. And look at the hop. Not a problem for Anthony Rendon.
First couple months of the season, Jose Lobaton was Gio Gonzalez's personal catcher, something Dusty Baker picked up on from Matt Williams' tenure last year. But the last 3 times that Gio Gonzalez has taken the mound, it's been Wilson Ramos behind the plate catching the left-hander. I asked Dusty about that today. He said that he's been trying to get Lobaton in there against right-handed pitching more recently. Jose's a little bit better from the left side of the plate as a switch hitter. He also wants to get Gio some more run support. He's been victim of some low run support recently, especially during that 7-game losing streak that he had. So Wilson Ramos and his stellar offensive numbers getting the call with Gio more. Lobaton will probably get the start tomorrow with Tanner Roark on the mound. I asked Lobaton earlier today if he prefers now the opportunity to work with every starting pitcher as compared to just Gio. He said, yeah, if he was just Gio's personal catcher, he was fine with that, but he does prefer the opportunity to work with the entire staff. He says it makes me feel like a teammate of everyone instead of a teammate of just one person.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Jose told me last week he was starting to feel so responsible for Gio's results, you know, putting some extra pressure on himself when he was just catching Gio. So maybe kind of a refreshing thing for everybody here. And I'd say the whole run support thing worked out the last time Gio pitched with Ramos behind the plate. Wilson, first pitch, 4th inning. 1 out. Here's the Geico President's Race, and I'm telling you, they were getting it tonight. Watch this, coming down the stretch.
There's no hot dog hangover from yesterday there.
It's George by a belt.
See, that's one that they wagered on behind the scenes. They had to. When they run like that, there is some stuff going on. I heard something interesting today, too. I mean, that's very interesting about Jose Lobaton and feeling the weight of another teammate all on his shoulders because he cares so much. Stand behind the cage, and Dusty Baker asked Wilson Ramos, have you ever played first? Because he said, you know, there's times when he might want to give Ryan Zimmerman a day off, and he said, give you a day off, too, like Jonathan Lucroy did yesterday. And if you can show me you can play first, you can still get your at-bats and have a comfortable day in the field.
Jeff Nelson going at it with Craig Counsell. Every guy gets a new one is what we heard there. I guess that does that mean different hitters have different strike zones?
No, I think he's talking about cars.
Here I thought I had some inside baseball to offer.
He's talking about new cars.
3-0 to Zimmerman, so they were squawking after ball 1 and ball 2. Ryan taking, that was going to handcuff him a little bit. Ryan 0 for 4 yesterday. So trying to get his first base hit of the series. That'll work. Got inside that one, turned on it to left. 1 on, 1 out.
I think you nailed that. I'm trying to think of what else he could be saying as far as every guy gets a new one. It could have been a lineup card joke because that would just be cruel.
One on, 1 out. Here's Rendon. Way outside, ball 1. Anthony Rendon, clutch hit, 2 outs, second inning. For his 32nd RBI, first time up. And that cutter up in the zone, 1-1. Danny Espinosa next. Davies struck him out with Rendon aboard in the second. Yeah, it's pretty good to the outside edge. Talked last week about the youthful appearance of Zach Davies. He'll grow into that uniform soon.
He will.
It's only 23.
We'll see him next year. Be all tatted up. Couple of earrings, goatee.
I just want to see a side-by-side with him and Trey Turner.
Yeah.
It looked like the state championship baseball game before 2 star players get together. 1-2 with 1 out. Rendon's got to be hacking if it's close. And he's going to be rung up by Greg Gibson down at first. On the swing. 2 down.
Check it out from the side. I didn't think he went from up here, and I still don't think he went. Anthony Rendon usually never gets the check swing called on him. He's as good as anybody I've ever seen at holding up his swing.
Now Espinosa again trying to keep an inning alive to at least get down to the number 9 spot.
When you have 18 home runs, you're doing more than trying to keep an inning alive.
Absolutely. Up the middle. And that's VR all the way over there. Picked at first by Chris Carter. Danny hit the ball sharply. Now the Nats have stranded 4. Milwaukee 5 in a 1-1 game.
Game summary is brought to you by Cox's new Contour. Get right to the good stuff. Tied at 1 as we go to the top of the 5th. Anthony Rendon, you just saw his RBI single. Zach Davies and Gio Gonzalez both have been real good.
Strike one, 5th inning underway. Jonathan Villar. Double to the base of the scoreboard last time on a ball that Bryce Harper tried to connect with. They're looking to bunt for a hit. Rendon charging from third, and on the miss, it's 0-2. Well, key time of the game for Gio, obviously, based on his season stats and what they've done against him.
I said it in the open today, but I think it's worth repeating. 6 of his last 8 starts, he's had at least 1 inning where he's allowed 3 runs or more. So the key tonight and for the rest of the season for him is avoid the big inning.
Yeah. It was a 3-run 6th against Cincinnati in that blowout win 5 days ago. And a 1-2, a ball laced to center. Revere in to grab it. That thing was smoking its way out there. 1 out.
Well, good read by Ben Revere on the low line drive. Not an easy play. He's kind of grabbing his left wrist or flexing his hand as he goes back to his position. But a nice sliding catch by the Nats center fielder on a hard hit ball. Nicely done.
Here's the guy to get out right now if you're Gio. Aaron Hill 2 for 2, a double, a single, an RBI. So he misses with a couple of high heaters. Counts back even.
And coming into this inning, he started with 71 pitches. 53 of those were fastballs, so 75% heaters for Gio on the attack. And I looked at his last start, he threw 67% fastball, and that was one of the higher percentages he's had all season long. So maybe part of the adjustment has been to attack more with the heater and throw less off speed. There's one inside coming.
3-2 after it was 0-2. Gio loses him. He had Flores 1 and 2 last inning, lost him. And so Aaron Hill, the wily 34-year-old veteran, on base for the 3rd time. And here comes a matchup with Gio and Ryan Braun. Could be a key point in the game right here in the 5th inning.
Ryan Braun in that vote-in thing with Belt, Lamb, Marte, and Story for the last All-Star spot.
To the shortstop. Espinosa to Murphy, and another Gio Gonzalez induced 6-4-3 double play ball. Got that rhythm going. His defense loves it behind him.
bobbleheads, and he's Dusty Baker. His first season as the Nats skipper. There'll be a Dusty Baker bobblehead on Tuesday, July 19th, where the Nats take on the Dodgers, who had a Dusty Baker bobblehead. And if the Nats play the Dodgers in the playoffs, everybody's bobblehead's going to pop off. For tickets, visit nationals.com/tickets. There's Bake. Probably on his second or third toothpick by now.
Waiting for some offense. This team's had at least one hit in every inning. Gio, ground ball to the right side, first time up. That double play a moment ago resulted in Gio's quickest inning tonight, 11 pitches. He's at 82 through 5. Through 4, Davies was at 58. And a line drive, one hopper in front of Aaron Hill, who did a good job of keeping behind it. One out. Let's go inside the numbers, brought to you by PNC. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances. So right now, the Nats, records and MLB ranks 27-13 against the East, third best divisional record in baseball. Interleague tied with Seattle, 9 out of 12, and against the Central and West, a losing record. They've only played 7 games against the West, losing 5 of those on that road trip. And at home, they are 26-14, 12 of the last 15. Ben Revere, base hit to right last time up, caught stealing. And then later in that inning, Worth walked and Harper singled. Couple of guys working quickly here. Davies 1-1. Tanner Roark, Matt Garza tomorrow. And Revere in the air to left for Ryan Braun. 2 outs, Worth next. Guys are dealing. Jason was an all-star 7 years ago, 09, when he drove in 99 runs for the Phillies. Had a couple of home runs in the World Series later that year. Base hit up the middle in the first, a walk in the third. Bryce Harper base hit his last time. Cutting its way right to the outside edge to fill the count. Pretty good fight in that swing. So Mercedes-Benz, the AB here. Worth left field hooking foul. Miami has just picked up 2 against Steven Matz in the top of the 7th, leading the Mets now 2-1. Wei-Yin Chen, Steven Matz, the starters in that game tonight. Nationals 4 up on the Mets, 6.5 on the Marlins. And Worth the pop-up right side. Angle best for Aaron Hill. Chris Carter stayed right with it. And then Aaron Hill there to make the grab. Nats go 1-2-3 this one into the 6th.
Far pitching out of some trouble in the first inning with the line drive comebacker. Then in the second, he gets the 6-4-3 double play. The curveball's been nice. The elevated fastball has been tough to hit, and then another double play to end the 5th. So even though there's been some less than stellar defense behind Gio tonight, he's pitched through some troubles. Time for Toyota K's for Kids. $37 donation by the Washington area Toyota dealers to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
Beautiful night. Just getting closer every day till we get to see the entire dome. Kind of shimmering in the early evening as the light diminishes and the stadium lights take over here. Jonathan Lucroy, it's getting to that twilight time here at 8:39 local. Low to Lucroy, who has hit a fly ball to left and a base hit to center.
We talked about Lucroy and how he squares up his face to the pitcher and he hits with both eyes. And I was talking to Dusty Baker about that behind the cage, because some guys tilt their head a little bit. You look out of one eye. And Dusty was saying, how do you watch TV? Do you tilt your head to watch TV? No, you watch square up. So you use both eyes. You see the baseball better. I'm surprised most hitters don't hit like Lucroy, where they're looking right back at the pitcher. And Felipe Alou always used to say, you should hit like you play catch. He goes, do you play catch with one eye, kind of tilting your head to the pitcher? Or do you play catch with somebody when you're warming up, square up? He said, that's how you should hit.
Ball 3. And Lucroy rifles another one up the middle. Jonathan Lucroy came in at 296 tonight, so he's over 300. Chris Carter is next. He hit that nasty line drive that FP described back at Gio to end the first inning. Struck out ending the 3rd. That's Milwaukee's first base hit since Lucroy's back in the 3rd inning.
And you see how Chris Carter's eyes are. They're pretty good, but the right eye, the back eye, is not really square up to the pitcher. It's something just to look at when you're watching baseball games. See what hitters are looking at the pitcher with both eyes. I mean, he sort of is, but it's not as square as Lucroy. And I guess it's just a personal comfort thing, but I always, yeah. You just see the ball better when you set your chin right on your shoulder and you're looking square back at the pitcher. For all you younger players, it's a good little tip to try. See what it's like. I guarantee you see the baseball better.
Some of us will try that on the golf course instead of both eyes closed. Anything to help? Now, if you start like that, do you have to move your head at all to track the baseball into the hitting zone?
A frozen head is what you ideally want as a hitter, because, you know, now you're seeing the baseball and you're not moving. If you're moving at a ball that's coming at you 90+ miles an hour, or your head is tilted at off speed, it makes the off speed even sharper because your head's not square to the baseball. So all these things, keep your head still, both eyes to the pitcher, little tiny tips that if you're a younger player help you see the ball better.
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Gio scuffling a bit lately with some long counts. And a chopper foul will keep it 2-2. He fell behind Lucroy, 3-1. So the Brewers box, their only RBI, the single opposite field by Aaron Hill back in the 3rd. After VR's double, Gio has stranded everybody else or erased them with 2 double play balls. Pitch count at 92 here in the 6th. Gio's gone 6 innings 10 times, but he's only gone beyond 6 innings twice this year. One thing at a time, just get through this. Now another full count. So the Brewers, second to Toronto in all of baseball in pitches seen per plate appearance. Interesting. Brought to you by Jeep. Three-two, nobody out, runner holding. Swing and a miss. Gio may be his best off speed of the night. And a big strikeout with the leadoff man aboard. That's his 4th this evening.
Oh, big pitch in a big spot. Ball 4 here. Brewers got something cooking, but he goes 3-2 changeup to Chris Carter. And a beauty for strike 3. Gorgeous sunset here at the yard tonight.
It is absolutely wonderful. So we've got some quieter fireworks to look at tonight. What a sky. Hernan Perez, ground ball and a strikeout. Blake Treinen up as Gio approaches 100. In the air, right center. Ben Revere looking up, and it's gone. Hernan Perez, opposite field, 4th of the year, and Milwaukee leads 3-1.
Man, ball is just flying here tonight. That was a well-hit ball to right center field. A high fly ball, if you will. Perez backed it up nice. You see the finish, though. That's where all the backspin was created with that one-hand finish. And it rides out of here to make this a 3-1 ball game. Pretty good swing. But this ballpark is playing real small.
And this one to center for Ben Revere, 2 outs. So Perez hit 1 homer last year in 90 games, and that's his 4th of this season. Ramon Flores, the hitter.
Now, fastball from Gio, belt high, right down the middle, and Perez squared it up.
Pitch number 100 coming. Flores a double play ball and a base on balls. And this one to left. Jason Worth to his left. He has it. Well, the Nats have been held to 1 run in 14 innings by the Brewers. Maybe the All-Stars, Harper, Murphy, and Ramos can get it done. Brew Crew 3-1. Perez, the Nats have to get busy. They have been stymied by this Milwaukee pitching staff in this series. 1 run, as I mentioned, in 14 innings. So tonight, Rivera base hit, but he was caught stealing. Worth on a couple of times. Single hits by Harper, Murphy, Zimmerman, Rendon with an RBI attached, and that is it. 71 pitches, 45 strikes for Zach Davies, who faces now a 4-time All-Star in Bryce Harper. Interesting note, in the history of the franchise, including the days in Montreal, Bryce joins Gary Carter. He had 4. Andre Dawson 3 as the only players in franchise history to earn at least 3 fan elections to the All-Star Classic.
I feel like he's going to run away with that one. But to your point about hitting, tonight's a good night to slug. And if you're just seeing the way it's shaping up here, the way the ball's flying, Bryce Harper's power zone, it's a good night to hit.
It is. One. Harper pulls it right side. 2 hops. Chris Carter, he'll do it himself. Harper's heroes here at the ballpark again tonight. Bryce gets to make a meet and greet with the kids before the game. They get to hear from him, interact with him, spends a lot of time with him. Bryce has a heart for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. He's been ministering to those charities and to the kids for a number of years here. Get to come to the ball game. They get to meet and greet Bryce and then watch him play from free seats.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it happens several times a year. Here's Murphy. Strike 1, inside edge. I thought he'd look back at Jeff Nelson.
I thought he'd talk to him. 10 groundouts for the Nats so far. Davies doing a nice job of keeping the ball down.
Murphy a chopper. Davies over to field his position. Quiet outs here. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances. With confidence, brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you, Caleb Ramsey out of Cypress, Texas, went to the University of Houston. 11th rounder by the Nats. He's 27 now. Syracuse last year for 95 games and doing a good job there again this year. 298. So he's on fire. 406 over the last week and a half. Outfielder, left-handed batter, Caleb Ramsey. Ramos 2 ground balls to short. Milwaukee pitching staff came to town with an ERA of 4.58, 5th worst in the National League. And they've shut down some bats that were screaming through the weekend.
But you just see where the location is from David. Everything's starting at the knees and going toward the ground, and the Nats are having a tough time elevating.
Got him inside edge with a fastball. Only his 3rd K, but as FP mentioned, ground ball outs piling up. 11 of those tonight.
Of the ball, hitting more ground balls, keeping the ball out of the air. Dusty Baker telling him he wants the ball on the ground, and Ben really working at it. And I want to show you something on his takes. So watch the shoulders and the barrel of the bat. You see how it's dropping, the back shoulders dropping, the barrel's actually dropping below his hands. You see that as a pitcher, that's a fly ball swing waiting to happen. Look at this check swing right here. Look where the barrel is and the back shoulder. And now the 3rd pitch of the sequence is kind of the same place, and he gets underneath it. So what he's working on is what I just talked about with Lucroy. It's kind of squaring his head back up to the pitcher and keeping that back shoulder up and getting on top of the baseball. We've seen what happens when he hits the ball to the left side with his speed. But you can just see by the takes where that barrel is going, where the back shoulder is going, and that's why he's hitting some fly balls.
As he did for the 2nd out, 5th inning. So here we are in the 7th. Zach Davies and Blake Treinen for the Nationals.
In his 2nd at-bat, the bullet between 1st and 2nd, he kept that back shoulder up and got on top of the ball, and that's what Dusty's hoping he sees more often than not. And a guy with 181 hits last year, you're thinking it's going to happen.
Danny Espinosa, busy night. That thing had some spin and some hops to it, and Ryan Zimmerman can't pick it. That may be the first low throw all year we haven't seen Ryan Zimmerman be able to pick.
Yeah, it hasn't been the best defensive game for the ball club tonight. And that's one that Ryan kind of took his eyes off. They usually give it to the guy who throws it, which is unfortunate because you think if Ryan just reaches out a hair further, he catches that in the air.
Jonathan Villar now, the leadoff man, looking to bunt. And it didn't necessarily look like a sacrifice attempt either. They've given Ryan Zimmerman that error according to the scoreboard. Now Jonathan Villar acting like he was hit by the pitch, but if he was taking a swing, even if it's a bunt, it's strike two.
Boy, you can really get hurt if you're running toward a pitch that's coming mid-90s or even mid-80s for that matter. So did he offer at this? And if he did, it's a strike, and that should be a strike. I mean, you hope he's okay, but he bunted at this ball. Watch, he offers at this pitch. That should be a strike. That's the same as a swing. And I think they're awarding him first base, which if they do is the wrong call. And they're not.
Yeah, Davies still standing at first, so he's got to get back in there. And the umpire's got it right.
That is a tough strike.
Jeff Nelson standing there for a while here, looking at some paperwork out of his pocket, and just maybe stalling for Davies, or rather Villar, to feel better. Probably said, I'll look over the lineup once here, give him 10 seconds, and off we go. Villar against Treinen first time. So that's it. Strike one, 2 and 3. And Jonathan Villar probably needs to go take a seat and gather himself.
I'm trying to think of what's a rougher at bat. Jonathan Lucrow yesterday, who didn't hit and made it out, or that one.
I'd be inclined to take the 0 for with a ball, without a ball in my thigh,
without a bag of
my
ice on your
quad.
leg.
That was really rough. Aaron Hill has had a big night. Made a couple of nice defensive plays. 2 hits, a walk. Now he jacks one high in the air to left, and Jason Worth can only watch it. And the Brewers hit another 2-run homer and lead 5-1. For Hill, his 8th. 3 RBIs tonight gives him 27.
I'll tell you what, Aaron Hill hit for the cycle twice as the Arizona Diamondback in the same season. He's a triple shy tonight. Double first time up, single second time up, walk now homer. And he's going to get another at bat, and that's not a bad pitch by Blake Treinen. That's down in the zone. It's going toward Hill, and he just digs it out with a beautiful swing. And sometimes good hitters beat good pitches.
Yeah, there was a time recently, over about a 5-year period, where the top 3 second basemen in home runs in baseball were Robinson Cano, Dan Uggla, and Aaron Hill. Up the middle, off Treinen to Rendon. Look at that bare hand play, and Zimmerman comes way off the bag to get it. And now the Brewers have consecutive base hits. And by the way, I was looking at the stat sheet for our pitchers yesterday. Because the Nats have had such a good defense all year, coming into this game, they had only allowed 18 unearned runs all year. So tonight, the Zimmerman error, the Espinosa throw, 19 unearned runs in 85 games, still a great total. But what you just saw there, a guy reaches on an error then scores, hasn't happened hardly at all this year. So still only one out, and here's Lucroy as Braun's 1 for 3. Braun, if he decides to run, 6 out of 9 this year.
When you play teams that are in the lower half of their division and you give them life, meaning an early lead, all of a sudden they're saying, hey, we can play with the big boys. This is a first place team. It gives you life as a ball club. I've been on Expo teams that were not good. And when we played a first place team, if we scored a couple runs early, we thought, we got this. We can play with these guys. That's why as a ball club, it's hard to do on a daily basis when you're in first place. But you can't give teams that you're supposed to beat hope that they can beat you. Because once you do, now it's an even playing field. You have that psychological edge simply by taking the field as a first place team. But when you let them play with you, now they think they can. And that's exactly what's happened here. 1-0 yesterday. They get the lead today. And now the Brewers are playing with all the confidence. Long way to go in this game, though. But yep, I've been on bad teams. I know. A lot worse teams than the Brewers. They're not that bad.
Yeah, the Nats narrowly won the season series from the Reds 4-3. Had to take 3 out of 4 here to do it. Milwaukee trying to go 4-1 against the Nats this year if they win this game. There's the Central. Cubs looking very human all of a sudden. St. Louis a 1-0 lead at home against Pittsburgh tonight. Those two jockeying for second place and a wild card position. Well, here's another 6-4-3. So the Nats turn their third of the night. And that'll get everybody a chance to stretch. But now it's time to get some hits put together. Getting late. 80 pitches, 52 strikes, 6 innings. Zach Davies giving the Nationals a run on 6 hits. The most recent one, a single 3 innings ago by Ryan Zimmerman. 8 straight for Davies since. And the off-speed pitch hangs up and in.
Ryan hit that ball hard last time up. Looking for some elevation here.
2-0. They're in the 8th now in New York. Marlins still lead the Mets 2-1. Zimmerman to right. It'll back up Perez. Now he comes back in a bit in front of the track for the first out. Follow Nats Baseball Live. It's the MLB.com at-bat app. Game day, live game video highlights and StatCast. Download it, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Matt Belisle working. Blake Treinen just had a 20-pitch, 10-strike 7th inning, giving up 2 runs, 1 earned. And here's Anthony Rendon, 1 for 2 of the Nats' only RBI tonight. Espinosa next. Nats need Anthony on base. Then the pitcher's spot. Ball was a bit of a hanger, but he didn't get it. 2 down in a hurry. Here's our Lowe's home field advantage. Danny Espinosa loves it here. But look at the home runs, 8 on the road this year. Almost as many RBIs. Slugging percentage pretty solid everywhere.
A nice series in San Diego and Los Angeles. That's probably why those road numbers are where they're at.
So on deck is Stephen Drew. Espinosa 0 for 2, strikeout. And a hot shot up the middle, but that's where the shortstop Jonathan Villar was and is playing. That's not catchable, and Danny Espinosa has a base hit. So that gives Dusty a chance to use one of his outstanding pinch hitters, in this case Stephen Drew.
Hit the ball hard his last time up to shortstop. This time he stays on that curveball. Nice. And that's what he needs, some hits between home runs to get that average climbing like it is. Came into tonight hitting 242, so 1 for 3, average going to go up, approaching 250.
Drew 4 for 17 as a pinch hitter, 3 homers, 5 RBIs. And he'll face Zach Davies for the first time.
Pretty good career pinch hitting numbers. Did you see that? 294.
That's great. Pinch hitters so aggressive when they come up late in the game, but some pretty good takes right there.
He's keyholing right now. He's looking for something to drive and make this an instant ball game.
Borderline pitch, 2-1. Nats this year have 9 pinch hit home runs as we try to channel some power and production here. 18 pinch RBIs.
I mean, it's getting to the point where you half expect it. They've been so good.
.251 career hitter overall. 11th year in the big leagues. Most of it at shortstop. Coming into this season, in 10 years in the major leagues, Stephen Drew had made 96 errors total. He's played 3 infield positions for the Nats.
There was a time when he was the D-back shortstop that he was considered one of the top defensive shortstops in the National League.
Set their RBI record for a shortstop several years ago. Boy, he jacks one into right field. That ball off the plate inside to him, and he got a big piece of that. So now the Nats trying to put 3 hits together with Ben Revere coming in, and Drew has his 5th pinch hit of the year.
Well, decision time for Craig Counsell, right? His pitcher's at 93 pitches, which isn't that big a deal, but the last 2 balls have been hit hard. You saw Stephen Drew shake his head on strike 2 in there, then he had to cover it with 2 strikes. He ends up hitting a bullet to right. Espinosa can only advance to second. So a little 2-out rally here for the Nats in the bottom of the 7th. It's getting late.
A lefty. Will Smith in the background. Carlos Torres, the righty, just throwing. Pitching coach Derek Johnson. And the tying runs in the on-deck circle, making this a huge at-bat for Ben Revere. 5-1 Brewers, bottom of the 7th. Ben tonight 1 for 3. Caught stealing in the 3rd after a 1-out hit. Big play in the game. Nats had 2 base runners to follow in that inning.
If you're wondering what in the world is Jonathan Lucroy doing, he's putting on a sign of what base he's throwing to should both runners steal with 2 outs. And I would bet that that was a sign saying I'm throwing to second to try to get the trail runner based on the speed of both guys on.
Revere takes one outside. Middlebrooks on the grass at 3rd. Target away. Revere base hit up the middle. Espinosa scores. Drew to 3rd. The Nats on the board. It's a 5-2 game. And Jason Worth will be the tying run after Ben Revere's 16th RBI.
And that's the swing that Dusty Baker's talking about. And Ben Revere with a clutch hit here in the bottom of the 7th to keep the line moving. Craig Counsell coming out of the dugout. That's going to do it for Zach Davies. But look at him get on top of the ball. Exactly what we're talking about. The back shoulder was up. The adjustment of Ben Revere in the middle of the game. So he had a single in the 3rd, now a single in the 7th. And more importantly than all that, he gets the tie-in run to the plate in the form of Jason Worth. Nice at-bat, Ben Revere.
So after 6 2/3 and 9 hits, Davies done. Nats into the Milwaukee bullpen. copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Bottom of the 7th, home team making some noise. Right-hander Carlos Torres, 33 years of age, against Jason Werth in a second. 36th appearance for the right-hander, 3.29 ERA. He's a strikeout guy, 43 and 41 innings.
Well, they know each other well. Torres used to pitch for the Mets, and he throws a lot of cutters 70% of the time. Curveball to go with it, straight fastball. He needs to throw a strike behind the count. So Jason Werth knows he's faced him, and the game plan here is to stay on that cutter away and drive it to right center if you're Jason Werth.
Drew at third, Revere at first, so great speed at first base if Jason can find a gap somewhere. That's ball one upstairs. Bryce Harper next. And with that in mind, Murphy behind him, they are keeping Will Smith ready out there, the lefty. Werth tonight, a base hit, a walk. Davies threw 96 pitches, 63 strikes. And now it goes to 2-0.
See, this is where you can change your game plan. But you see the numbers when the Nats hit a home run versus when they don't. Meaning, okay, now he has to throw a strike. So you can go back to pull mode right here if you're Jason, thinking the cutter's not going to be moving away. Here comes the four-seamer.
Werth 2 for 7 against Torres with a home run. Ball 3 up and in.
Yes. Absolutely, without a doubt, green light.
The aforementioned cutter. Well, big pinch hit for Stephen Drew to keep the inning alive so that Revere could drive in Espinosa and get the tying run to the plate with a long way to go tonight. Werth swinging from the heels, and back it went.
Trying to tie it up.
So Revere on the 3-2 pitch will be on the move here. There he goes. Ball 4, bases loaded. And that might be it for Torres. Counsel out of the dugout.
Well, it capped an obvious statement, but this is your chance if you're the Nats. You got your MVP up. Doesn't matter who they bring in. This is the ball game right here, right now.
Will Smith pitched the 8th inning yesterday. Did not face Bryce Harper. He's about to. some evens here if he can against Will Smith. He faced him twice in the series in Milwaukee. First the repertoire.
A fastball 91, slider 80, occasional curveball at 77. I think he threw Bryce one of those big looping curveballs started behind him. He'll probably see a few of those in this sequence. But hey, I mean, this is not over dramatizing anything. This is the ball game right here, right now.
Friday night's game in Milwaukee, Smith got Bryce to pop up. Saturday's game, he got him to foul out on a pop-up. Bryce 0 for 3 career against the lefty. 1 for 3 tonight. Tying runs on base at first with Jason Worth.
Big-time players step up in big-time situations.
High strike. Bryce is slammed for career homer number 100 earlier this year. Big gap right center. Right fielder Perez way deep. Fastball outside.
I think if you're thinking left center here and driving the ball that way, you cover the curveball and the fastball away. But if you're thinking pull, you're falling right into his hand.
There's the breaking ball. And Bryce stepping to his right, unable to reach it. (5-2) Milwaukee, bottom of the 7th. Nats have 3 hits in an inning for the first time in this entire series. Right in there with a fastball. Harper takes strike 3. The Nats strand 3, and they've left 7 tonight. Into the 8th. Milwaukee 5-2.
Can't argue with that. You got your reigning MVP up, bases loaded, down by 3. Let's check out the sequence. First pitch slider, top of the zone. Then he goes fastball down the way. Fish ain't biting. Then right here, Bryce is thinking, I'm pulling this one into Navy Yard, but it was going the other way. Then paint for strike 3. And I mean, if pitch track wasn't there, you would have thought it was a strike. So pretty good pitch that went the Brewers' way.
Top of the 8th inning now. And the Nationals with their 3rd pitcher of the night, Matt Belisle. 16th appearance, 2.45 ERA, 11 Ks, 17 hits in 14 2/3. 36-year-old right-hander against Chris Carter, who has 1-for-1 career against him. Over the years, Brewers saw a lot of Matt Belisle in the same division.
A fastball, slider, curve, occasional change.
That ball hammered to center. Revere can only watch it. That's a rifle shot, one hopping the wall. And Carter aboard with a leadoff double, 8th inning. Guy is some kind of strong.
Time for some Yellowwood. Bringing the lumber. Going to show you some taters. This one by Hernan Perez. Just gets out of here. Second road job, but he hit it well. Good extension. Ball flying tonight. And then this one by Aaron Hill. A triple shy of the cycle is Hill. Double, single, walk, homer. His 8th of the year.
Here's Perez, who hit that homer his last time up. 0-for-1 career against Matt Belisle. Nats have turned 3 double plays tonight. Runner at second to lead off. And it's outside. Top of the ninth at New York, by the way. 5-2 Marlins. They've scored a couple more runs.
As a hitter, when you're up by 3 and you're hitting in this situation, do you move the runner? Absolutely. Or try to, at least, because you want to protect the grand slam here and try to be up by 4 with 6 outs remaining for the opposition.
And a bunt. Belisle moving toward first. That would have been a tough play to third. Basically happening behind him. So they moved the runner on the first out.
That's good baseball. They're doing exactly what I'm talking about. Craig Counsell trying to protect the grand slam. The Peanuts are in town sometime soon. Danny Espinosa, Fu Manchu, Harry bobblehead giveaway on the 9th. Probably taking a whole new meaning after Danny's onslaught of homers. Happy Gilmore 20th anniversary themed jersey. And health and wellness night where they're giving away cigarettes. No, I'm just kidding. Peanuts tickets are going fast. Call the number on your screen or go to the website.
Middlebrooks 1-for-3. Strike called inside edge with the infield in. Way in on the left side.
Let's see the Happy Gilmore jersey night. What's that about?
Well, you wear one to the golf club and everybody gets to abuse you, evidently, on the first tee box.
Is it a hockey jersey? Are they wearing hockey jerseys?
They want you to come and find out. Foul ball 0-2.
That one's piqued my interest. And then I've seen the Harry, Danny, Fu Manchu deal. That's awesome. See, Danny playing short right now could give himself a little more room based on the speed of Chris Carter. Now he's backing up just as soon as I say that. You play shallow as the runner speed dictates.
Middlebrooks trying to guide one the other way.
The speed of the runner, Cart, plus your arm strength is how shallow you play with the infield in.
Did the bat go? No swing, says Greg Gibson.
Dusty's screaming at him down there. Look at Dusty. Dusty showed him the swing. He stood up and showed him the check swing. And if he hits it, it's a double.
You know, even if you're bailing, the bat went through the zone and then some. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball smothered by Wilson Ramos. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball upstairs. Matt Belisle gets a key second out.
I'm thinking if he check swung on a high pitch, maybe go up there again and try him. And he chased in a big strikeout, like you said.
Ramon Flores facing Belisle. First time. 0 for 2. Double play, a line out to left and a walk. Scooter Gennett steps out on deck, and the Nats will face him. Gennett, career against Belisle, 2 for 5.
Interesting move.
Yeah.
To say the least right here, right?
Getting to a guy who knows your pitcher instead of a young guy who's never faced him.
Just walking a lefty to get to another lefty. Just from that standpoint alone, and an everyday player, and Scooter Gennett, that's proven to be a tough out.
He's been a tough out against the Nats this year. Gennett 2 for 4 last night, and he's hitting just under 300 against the Nationals this year. Gennett's a contact hitter, and I guess the one thing it does do, if there's a chopper over the mound or up the middle, the Nats would be able to get a force play at second, but this is a tough batter. Got to put the ball in play.
I was thinking that too. You don't walk guys to get force plays, and Dusty obviously likes this matchup better.
Scooter 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year. Out of play, 1-1. So Will Smith getting pinch hit 4 here. The huge strikeout of Bryce Harper after Torres walked Worth. Looks like Tyler Thornburg will be next for them in the bottom of the 8th when the Nats have the All-Stars coming up, 2 of them. And a 1-1. Gennett waits for it to Hopper, right side. Dusty walks a man to get to Gennett, and it works out just fine. Murphy a hit tonight. Ramos and Zimmerman to follow. The Nats need another rally. The series finale getaway day, a 4:05 game with Tanner Roark going. He has pitched 7 innings plus in 6 of his last 8 starts. A real Ironman and a great effort in Milwaukee, by the way. Matt Garza, 1-4 career with a 7.01 against the Nats. Matt Garza, 1-1, will be making his 5th start since his return off the disabled list. Tanner has been outstanding lately. We're going bottom 8th, 27-year-old Tyler Thornburg for Milwaukee. 34th appearance, 44 Ks in 32 innings.
Yeah, just 11 walks, a strike thrower for sure. Fastball 94, curveball 79, changeup mostly to lefties at 86 miles an hour. Nats need some more base runners.
Kirk Neuenhuis into center field, moving Ramon Flores over to right. First up, Daniel Murphy. 1-for-3 career against Thornburg. Up and in. Murphy, loud sound, high drive, right center to the scoreboard and off the board, off the glove of Flores. Murphy stopped for a moment, going to third, out.
Well, down by 3, Daniel Murphy be the first one to tell you that can't happen, making the first down at third. I think he hesitated around second. First of all, he knows he just missed it, so he wasn't busting it out of the gate. Then he gets to second and stops and then goes again. So that was an adventurous trip around the bases for the Nats All-Star. He didn't think he got it, first of all. Then he turned on the Jets around first, then stopped at second, and then started again, or at least slowed down going into second, and that's going to make for an out at third most of the time. VR got that ball with plenty of time to relay it to third, and he knows it. We've all been there.
Wilson Ramos up next. Counts even 1-1. Wilson 0-for-3 tonight. And against Thornburg, 1-for-2 with a double.
Telling you, the ball carrying tonight has fooled people on defense, and it's fooled people at the plate.
On the edge, 2-2. Counts full. Zimmerman on deck. Then Rendon here in the 8th inning if it goes that far. And the Nats need it too.
You know, thinking back, a lot of times as a hitter, the times you don't run hard out of the box is when you're still waiting to see if they're going to catch it or not. There's that doubt while you're running. Are they going to catch it? Is it a hit? Does it drop in? Then you see it drop in and you turn it on. You know, all of us have been there and done that. I think the indecision at second base is what cost Daniel at third.
Ramos to right. This ball's carrying to the track. And there to grab it, Flores, 2 outs. Ryan Zimmerman 1 for 3 tonight.
I think Wilson thought he got this, and the way it's carrying tonight, I thought he did too for a second. No. Pretty good swing by the Buffalo.
Hits are even at 10, but Milwaukee leads 5-2. Zimmerman against Thornburg, career 0 for 2. A walk. Anthony Rendon waiting. 0-2 pitch. It's over in New York. Marlins beat the Mets 5-2. Giancarlo Stanton hit 2 home runs tonight. Target in. And a fly ball left center. To his right and in Neuenhuis. And that's it for the Nationals in the 8th inning. So they got to hold them and come up big. Bottom 9.
Kind of been a rough night. We're not used to seeing the Nats play how they played tonight, and maybe it was 11 o'clock start yesterday, who knows, but there's been a lot of uncharacteristic things going on in this game. None of them things that aren't fixable, but when you look at what we're showing you here tonight, maybe it's just one of those nights for this ball club. And it kind of sunk into me with Daniel Murphy. I think he was trying to make up for the fact that he threw his bat and was frustrated, and then the ball fell in, and then he's like, I have to make up for it and get to third. That'll make up for it. That's how your mind thinks when you're running around the bases. So just a weird night all the way around, and a ball club that's 16 games over, nothing to panic about, but they still have 3 outs left, and we'll see.
Top of the ninth, Matt Belisle, another inning.
Weird, right? We haven't seen this a whole lot this year.
Not from this team. That's a line drive right to Danny Espinosa. Just a step or two to his right. Well, here's Aaron Hill, double, single, walk, homer, 3 RBIs. The star of the night for the Brewers.
Needs a triple for the cycle.
Yeah, and they don't play him real deep in the outfield, so some kind of gapper could get him 3 bags. Late for that one. Aaron Hill, 4 for 12 career with a homer. 2 doubles, 5 RBIs against Matt Belisle. George Kataris, a catcher against Houston. Blaine Boyer, if they go beyond 3 runs ahead, and then their outstanding closer, Jeremy Jeffress, if it is a save situation. And he would be looking for his 4th save against the Nats just this year. Murphy calling the high pop-up. No cycle for Aaron Hill tonight. 2 down here in the 9th. Johnny and Ray with you from left field and live on your electric television. It's Nats Extra postgame presented by WB Mason when this one is over.
You say electric television?
Yeah, you still have to plug it in, don't you? Most of them.
Was there a time when they weren't electric?
Some are battery powered.
Did you ever have a gas television?
No, not that.
Right.
That does not go well. Many battery operated mini TVs in dorm rooms over the years. Up the middle to his right, Murphy. Backhand. Matt Belisle, a clean 9th. Good stretch by Ryan Zimmerman. So Matt Belisle gets his boys right back in the dugout. Rendon, Espinosa, then the number 9 spot. On Masson, brought to you by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. And by Dominion, depend on us for more than energy. From the Capitol to right behind home plate on South Capitol Street Southeast here in Washington, D.C. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Jeffress trying to do what he did last night and save a ball game for the Brewers. Jeremy Jeffress, pardon me, in a 1-0 game last night, 5-2 tonight, and he's trying to do it for the 4th time against the Nats.
A pretty good fastball with a lot of arm side run to it at 96. Curveball fairly sharp at 81 miles an hour. Occasional changeup 5% of the time. So load him up and see what happens.
Anthony Rendon, Danny Espinosa. You would think Clint Robinson after that. Chris Heisey also available. '28-year-old closer who has some all-star numbers. He's blown one save this year. Got that whip going. 96 on the heater, ball one.
He's a slinger, isn't he?
Yeah. Anthony Rendon 1 for 2 against him. Jeffers last night got Worth, Harper, and Zimmerman on ground balls. Walked Wilson Ramos. Not as many strikeouts as you might think. 26 in 36 innings. Three and one. Danny Espinosa next.
Do you go full count here or hack away 3-1? Let's see.
Right-hander pitching for the third straight day. Espinosa right side. It's got enough heat to get through. Pardon me. Rendon with Espinosa coming up next. So the Nats need at least 2 more.
So the 9th inning rally started with a leadoff single by Anthony Rendon.
Danny Espinosa 0 for 1 against the right-hander. Clint Robinson on deck. Clint 1 for 1 against this right-hander with a couple of RBIs. Now the Nationals have more hits than Milwaukee, 11-10. Base hit left field. Espinosa 2 for 4. Here come the Nats. Attacking early.
This average has to be around 250 now, doesn't it? 242 coming in, 2 for 4 night. Hit the ball hard 3 of his 4 times up. Line move in here. And the bottom of the 9th, hold on.
As mentioned, Clint Robinson 1 for 1 with a 2-run double against Jeffress. And Clint, as a pinch hitter this year, 5 hits, a homer, 2 RBIs. Jeffress threw 6 pitches Sunday at St. Louis, getting some work at the end of that sweep, and then 18 pitches last night, 10 strikes with a walk in the 9th inning. Robinson back to the pitcher, and that's a 1-6-3. Now Ben Revere has to get aboard for Jason Worth.
On that first pitch fastball, he got a changeup. And you were thinking after Jeffress gave up a first pitch hit to Espinosa, he'd probably go with something different right there. But when you're standing on deck and you see a first pitch knock, you say, hey, that's a good idea.
Ben Revere 2 for 4 tonight. 0 for 1 against the right-handed closer. Middlebrooks on the grass at third, guarding against a bunt that would get the tying run to the plate. Bouncing ball right side, and Milwaukee wins the season series from the Nats, and they'll try to make it 5 out of 6 tomorrow. Nationals held to 1 run, actually no runs yesterday, and a very frustrating 2 runs on a dozen hits tonight. So Zach Davies pitched well. He gets the win. Gio loses. He's 4-8. And for Jeffress, his 23rd save of the year. Tomorrow, coverage begins at 3:30. Game 3 against Milwaukee. The Nats will try to salvage one. First pitch, 4:05, Tanner Roark. This has been a presentation to Masson. Stay tuned now. Johnny and Ray, Nats Extra postgame coming up. And from the ballpark, frustrating night. So long for just a while.